So we've talked about what Xbox and the Microsoft brand need to do at E3 2018. We've talked about what Sony and the PlayStation brand need to do at E3 2018. And now it's time to finally talk about the final third company in this pillar. And that is, of course, Sega. Nah, I'm just kidding. That, of course, is Nintendo. Nintendo is gearing up for a pretty big E3 2018. There's a lot of things that will be shown. There's a lot of things that we know about, and a bunch of mysteries, including some wild cards, much like the PlayStation brand. So in this video, we're going to talk about what I think Nintendo needs to do at E3 2018, what their focal point should be, what I want to see, and of course, the wild cards. What could potentially happen because of these wild cards, and what sort of E3 is it going to be like? So sit back, relax, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and let's talk about Nintendo, the Nintendo Switch, the Nintendo 3DS, and everything Nintendo related at E3 2018.
Hey, RGT 85. Hey, Sean.
Oh my God, it's Stevie Richards!
Obviously, one of the focal points for Nintendo at E3 2018 is, of course, going to be Smash Bros. For the Nintendo Switch. That game will be coming out in 2018. It will be playable at the E3 show floor. There's going to be a tournament for the game with a bunch of potential, high-ranking Smash players that are joining the tournament. So it's going to be a very big focal point for Nintendo. Obviously, the Smash Bros. Series is a well-received series both critically and in terms of fan reception. Fans love the games. They're always scored very highly on Metacritic, and a lot of people are wondering what Smash Bros. For the Nintendo Switch is going to entail. Because besides the little teaser that we got at the end of a Nintendo Direct, we don't know anything about Smash Bros. We don't know the character roster, we don't know the lineup, we don't know what sort of online things there's going to be, what sort of single player aspects there's going to be, but it seems like the game is pretty far along in development if they plan on releasing it this year. Obviously, it's going to be a big holiday title for the Nintendo Switch, but many people think it could launch alongside Nintendo's online service, and that's another thing we're going to see at E3 2018, is of course Nintendo's online service, what all it entails, all of the details, all of the nitty-gritty stuff, and how everything works. We of course had Nintendo reveal what the online service was going to basically entail, but obviously they need to get more in depth with it. They actually need to show it off. So E3 is a great place to do it because a lot of people are curious about this. A lot of people are wondering if it's going to be worth their money to invest in Nintendo's online service. Now, another game that a lot of people are expecting to see at the event is of course Metroid Prime 4. It was revealed in a bit of a teaser last year at E3 2017, but once again, we don't know anything about this game. It's a big question mark. What sort of game is it? Obviously it's going to be a first-person perspective like all the other Metroid Prime games, but where's the story going to take place? Is there going to be bounty hunters involved? And of course, will there be any sort of online play? Now you gotta remember, Metroid Prime Hunters on the DS was one of the best online experiences for a Nintendo platform, and that was on the DS. There was lobby systems, you could talk to people if they had their friend code through the Nintendo DS's hardware, and it was a game that I played a hell of a lot of. So I definitely hope that there is an online component in Metroid Prime 4. Yes, single player experiences are awesome, but online experiences are awesome too. And with a first-person adventure game that lends itself to first-person shooting mechanics, I think you could do a lot of fun things with Metroid Prime 4 as far as the online is concerned. Now, some of the big question marks I have with Nintendo is what else is there for the rest of 2018? What are we expecting to see? We know, of course, that Smash Bros. Is coming. Some people think that Metroid may come. Some people think that Metroid's a 2019 release. But what about Fire Emblem for the Nintendo Switch? This was another game that was pretty much just mentioned in passing, and we haven't seen anything from it. Pikmin 4 has been heavily rumored, and supposedly it's pretty much done. So what's going on with that? Will we see that at E3 2018? And of course, what is going on with Star Fox? There have been heavy rumors about Star Fox making a return in a sort of Diddy Kong F-Zero-esque sort of game, and I think on paper it sounds pretty interesting, honestly. Obviously, Star Fox is a bit of a franchise without an identity. After Star Fox Zero, a couple people have a bad taste in their mouth of the Star Fox franchise, so it'd be an interesting way to get the series back on track. But really, I want to see more Nintendo stuff for the rest of 2018. They've been pretty quiet as far as what games are concrete releases for 2018 that are first-party titles. They did a fantastic job last year of constantly releasing first-party titles for the Nintendo Switch, and we've seen it pretty decently this part of the year, the first half of the year as well, so they definitely need to keep that momentum because I think that's really driving system sales, and I think a lot of people are enjoying having a monthly release from Nintendo because you know you're getting a pretty top-notch quality game at the end of the day from Nintendo. So I definitely want to see more from Nintendo and what they have planned, concrete release dates, and concrete gameplay footage of games this year at E3 2018. Now, of course, you have to talk about the Nintendo 3DS as well, because that's still alive and kicking. They're still making games for it. But honestly, I hope it is not a big focal point of Nintendo's presentation. I think a lot of people have moved on from the 3DS. Yes, the younger audience still plays it because it's a cheap system. You know, if you drop one and break it, you can get a 2DS for like 80 bucks. So it does still have value, but the system has been out for so long. I feel like the capabilities of the system have pretty much been maxed out. Sure, you can have great experiences on there still, but once you play a Nintendo Switch and then you try to go back to that 3DS or 2DS screen, it's admittedly very hard. It's, you know, it's a pretty jarring experience to have this low resolution screen after you have this beautiful screen on the Nintendo Switch. So I do expect 3DS stuff to be there. I just hope it's not a huge focal point. Another thing I think Nintendo sort of needs to focus on are third-party offerings. The third-party offerings have been admittedly pretty decent so far on the Nintendo Switch, but I think they need to keep that momentum going. I would like to see something like Madden come to the Nintendo Switch. While I'm not a die-hard football fan, I do enjoy a couple games of Madden here and there, and I think something like Madden on the Switch would actually be a very positive thing for the system. You saw that NBA 2K18 got a lot of good publicity when someone brought it to their college class and was playing it in class and, like, you know, grinding to get VC and stuff. So I think something like that, you know, having a console quality experience of Madden on the go is something that could be potentially very good for the Nintendo Switch. We haven't seen Madden on a Nintendo platform in quite a while, since the Wii U actually. So I think it's time for Madden and other big games to return to the Nintendo Switch. I want to see more console parity as well, you know, games released on the same time for the Nintendo Switch as other third-party systems. I don't think every third-party game is going to come to the Nintendo Switch, but I think key ones, big ones, should definitely come, and maybe even some third-party exclusives. Now, of course, we have the wild card, the mystery game, the game that everyone thinks will be at E3 2018, but they don't know anything beyond it. We've had heavy rumors about it being a Pokemon Yellow remake, of course, with Pikachu and Eevee as the main characters, but that is Pokemon for the Nintendo Switch. Pokemon for the Nintendo Switch is probably the most sought after game that there is, because it's time to take Pokemon from this handheld realm into the Nintendo Switch, into a home console hybrid that also duels as a portable system. It's obviously Nintendo's moneymaker right now. It's selling very well, and we need to see Pokemon on this system. People are drooling over this. People are freaking out over this. And more importantly, it will consistently drive system sales. If you announce a Pokemon game coming out in 2018 alongside of Smash Brothers, the system will sell like crazy. People who have been holding off on adopting the Nintendo Switch, people who have been holding off on upgrading from their 3DS, if you say, hey, you want to play the new Pokemon game? You got to get a Nintendo Switch. Sales are going to skyrocket through the roof. That's the power of Pokemon. You got to remember, Pokemon Go was a freaking phenomenon. And if the game actually worked well and it was actually a little bit better and more of a game, I think people would still be really into it. But Pokemon on the Nintendo Switch is definitely the wild card for Nintendo. Definitely something that I think we will see at E3 2018, and definitely something that could potentially just explode the industry with a huge burst of growth, because that's the power of Pokemon. So pretty much that's what I expect Nintendo to do. I want to see some surprises from Nintendo as well. They said 2018 was going to be the year of new IPs on the Nintendo Switch, and we really haven't seen any, so I think we're due for at least one or two new IPs. What's Retro been working on? Are they working on this Star Fox game, or are they working on something else? Is Monolith working on anything? This is a perfect time to debut it. I don't think you need to showcase everything that's coming out in 2018. You could also showcase some games coming out in 2019, because really, it's a bit of a mystery. We have titles, we have placeholder dates, but we don't have any concrete information. So I think this E3 is going to be very good for Nintendo, because they're going to showcase the present and the future of the Nintendo Switch, what to expect. Because really, there's been a lot of ports from Wii U games. There's been a lot of games that were originally designed with the Wii U in mind, like Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Now it's time to really get into the nitty-gritty of the Switch, to see what it's capable of, to see what it's capable of doing. And hopefully we will throw a little more dirt on the 3DS grave, because I am am well ready to move on from that. I have loved my 3DS, but it's definitely time to move on. It's definitely time to go on to greener pastures, and I feel like the Nintendo Switch is those greener pastures. So let me know in the comments section down below what you expect to see from Nintendo at E3 2018. Are you excited to see Smash Brothers? Do you think we'll see Pokemon? Do you think we'll see Metroid Prime? Do you think Metroid Prime, Pokemon, and Smash will all release this year, causing a huge vortex with the world imploding and everyone buying a Nintendo Switch and going crazy over it? Or do you think that some of these games will be spaced out a bit more? I think that's a very interesting thing to think about, because obviously you don't want to get too much attention away from certain games. I think Smash Brothers and Pokemon would probably be enough as the two staple IPs for the holiday season, and then if you have some more things going on, and of course third-party support, it should be a very lucrative year for Nintendo. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and as always, thank you for watching this video. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. We're going to be doing lots of fun E3 stuff on this channel. Once E3 rolls around, live videos, all sorts of craziness. Trust me, it's going to be a crazy time during E3. And if you really enjoyed this video, check out all the links in the description box down below. We got Patreon, t-shirts, social media, all sorts of ways to keep up to date with the ever-growing world of RGT 85, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Later.
RGT 85. RGT 85. RGT 85. RGT